Hey everyone, it's Zach here, and I thought I would talk to you this evening about Sam and I, our new purchase, a 2003 Ford Focus wagon. So at first I was a little leery about it, and Sam was too, but when we actually truly looked at it and kind of broke it down, this is actually I think it's a really cute vehicle. I think as far as wagon standards go, it's a little more boxy, and I think it's kind of cute, but it's a 2003, has 137,000 miles on it, and same motor that's actually in the red car, the Escort. It's a Zetec, and we'll kind of get to that. But Sam and I have been looking for another vehicle to replace the red car, because the red car was good, but it didn't hold rows very well, you know, with the two doors and stuff. And ultimately, we needed something else. And this one popped up online. Initially he had it for $2,500, and he had dropped it down to $2,200. Hey, he's jamming out. Sorry if it's a little bit busy here. I'm actually at one of the local parks in town. I didn't want to, as you guys know, we're living with the in-laws, and I didn't want to draw any attention to where we're living, where they live, and stuff like that. So I'm here at a neutral area, which will probably be the theme. You know, it's kind of funny how easily people can track you down. But regardless, so let's just get into it. Exterior, little crumple there. It's definitely not perfect. The back tires were new as of the winter. They're Bridgestone Ecopias. He said they got a flat tire, so he replaced it. The two rear ones. The front ones here are almost to the wear bars. Surprisingly, they don't seem to be crazy. I mean, they're worn pretty even, but here's a wear bar. They'd probably be okay for the summer, but I'm just going to throw some of the same Bridgestone ones. Those tires are actually about $100 a piece. They're spendy. They're like a 70 or 80,000 mile tire, and I'm just going to put two new ones on. That way they're relatively close to the same tread depth. But the people I bought it from, they're the second owners. They're really nice people. They both work at one of the Catholic schools in St. Cloud, which is where I used to live, and so they seemed really honest. Like, radio stations were all like Christian radio stations. Like, they seemed really nice, and it was up for $2,200, and I took it for a drive. I was under the impression it had 4 new tires, so the brakes, it needs new front rotors because they're warped, which is kind of like how everything works nowadays. And 2 new tires up front. The parts for this thing are really cheap, which I'll get into that. But the only other thing is when I go over bumps, it's a little clunky. I can show you that. Come on. Of course, now it doesn't want to make the noise. Anyways, it's a little clunky over bumps. So I tried to diagnose it the best I could. Nothing seems to be broken under there, but it could be like a sway bar bushing, which is what I'm thinking, because I was actually just looking at it a little bit ago, and everything seems tight under there, but when it rocks, it's coming a little bit kind of where those bushings should be. So I believe it to be a sway bar bushing, but I was able to, he had it at $2,200. I told him, not trying to, you know, upset you or anything, but I'd be looking at this thing for about $1,500, because the 2 new tires, it's $200. Brakes, I told him, you know, a set of brakes is $200, which it's actually cheaper on this particular vehicle. And then I said, with the clunking, I just don't know. And so I told him 15. He was like, can we do 2,000? I said, no, I'll do like 1,600 on it. And he actually took it. Which I was very pleased with. $1,600 for this thing, I'll take. I think that's worth it. So I ordered a whole plethora of parts right away. Spark plugs, wires, air filter, fuel filter, brakes, and an antenna, because the little antenna is missing. So I ordered a new antenna. But this thing works out well, because as you can see, I can throw the kayak on it. We can throw Rose inside of it. She fits actually very nice. For a Focus, this thing has a really nice, I get the hiccups, a really nice back seat. I can't open the hatch all the way. It needs a new window wiper back here. It's not perfect, right? It has a little crack in the plastics there, but I'd say I'm going to glue it, but knowing me, I'll probably never get around to it. I normally do most of the preventative maintenance type stuff, but I can't open this all the way. We'll be careful. There we go. So you can see I moved the linoleum mat, but it was very clean. This one's never been smoked in. The red car was smoked in. This one hasn't been smoked in. When I asked him that, I said, has it ever been smoked in? He said no, but they have 2 hypoallergenic cats that he brings to his parents' place or her parents' place, him or his wife's, every weekend, and they've been in here. But he was very honest. But it's pretty good. Interior-wise, nothing's... It's actually pretty clean, I'd say. Thought it was weird. This model didn't come with rear headrests. This thing here is supposed to lock. This little piece goes in here, and then this little tabby locks into it. It's not on there, but automatic, so Sam can drive it. And that was kind of the purpose, was we need something that would haul rows. And then if I go away, like duck hunting or deer hunting, the SUV now has a hitch on it. And so she can drive this around town, even though this thing runs like really, really nice. The only other thing I can say is I think it needs a wheel bearing on this side. But I'm going to take off these wheels when I do the brakes, and I'll diagnose it further as to what's going on. But it tracks true and straight. The transmission shifts like really, really nice. Ugh. And the best part about it is it's the same motor as the Focus, so I'm very familiar with it now because I did all that stuff on the Focus, or on the Escort, sorry. So yeah, same Zetec motor, exactly the same. It's a generation newer, but everything is in the exact same spot. And I'll start it up here. Let me get the little post put in so you can see it. I'll start it up. This little shield, I got to fix that. I noticed that it's hitting on here. I think if I remove these, I can just put bigger washers on there. And I was trying to see the date of the battery. It's an Ultra Craft. I'll find the date of that. It's just a little bit different as far as the layout in here, but I might move the Escort battery over. In fact, I could probably take the plugs out and swap it all over. I'm not going to. I ordered spark plugs, wires, an air filter. Yeah, I told you guys that. It was $80. No, $161 shipped to the door, which I thought it's like super cheap compared to everything else. I'm able to do a full tune-up and get everything back to square one for so it starts up decent. It's a little laggy on the startup. I think that might be a fuel filter or like spark plugs and wires. But it sounds just like the other Zetec did. It has less vibration than the other Zetec, but it still does have a little vibration, and I believe it to be the trans motor mount on the other one and this one, which you just remove this air box and it's 3 bolts. Yeah, sounds good, runs good. Like I said, I think the vibration makes this tick a little bit, and runs good though. Yeah. Nice and quiet. I think it just needs a tune-up. It needs an oil change, but I'm going to have them put the new tires on it and do the oil change at the same time. So I'm just waiting to get all my other parts in, because that way she'll be ready to go. But it's nice and quiet, and like I said, it shifts nice. It runs really good. Just like the other Escort. I mean, for whatever reason, these motors just don't burn like any oil. I mean, look at how clean that tailpipe is. It's insane. But yeah, the Zetec motor or the dual overhead cam Duratec are the motors to have. There was a single overhead cam that was kind of a dog. That's the one you don't want to get, but of the three, I think the Zetec's probably the number one. It makes about 130 horsepower, and you can floor this thing and it's not going anywhere very fast, but for what it is, Sam and I are very pleased with it. The rack holds 200 pounds. These main rails do, not the cross members, but the main rails are about 200 pounds, and it's attached on there good. It's a little flexy, but I think it should be. But that's more than enough for the kayak here, and it drives good. You know, interior's cute, more roomy than the Escort for sure, and yeah, see if I can show you guys that vibration. The whole dash on the other car vibrates. This one here, that's about, you can hear it here. So you can, that's about as, but once you get going, it goes away. But I can hear it on this side, so I think it's just that mount. But to get a whole set of those mounts was $30, and I only need the one, so it's probably gonna be like $7. And I'll get to it when I get to it, but I'm very happy with this car. Very happy. Like I said, just a little clunky in the front end, but the tires are worn really evenly, so whatever it is, it's not something that's like a tie rod end. Normally you'd notice the wear and a clunking in your steering wheel, so I think it's just a sway bar end link. It could possibly be the struts, and I looked up those. You can hear it there. So I looked up the struts though, and those were like $50 a piece, like the whole thing. But yeah, I'm very pleased with it. So I thought I would show you guys. This is what I'll be rolling around in now. And yeah, so no more red car. I put it for sale. So I bought this for $1,600, and I'm gonna put $200 tires on it, $160 tune-up. So what is that? 16, 17, 18, about $19.50, and hopefully it gives me good service. 19, so $2,000. I think this is worth it for about $2,000. Seems to be good. There's a little plastic flap here if you didn't notice. Plastic flaps hanging down. Whatever. It's a beater car. It's for around town, but yeah, decent. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later. This is what we're rolling around in now.